Hello friends, in this video tutorial, we will show you how to fetch data from JSON Web Token after login into system. So once we have generate JSON Web Token and store user data under that token, so under this tutorial, we will fetch data from JSON Web Token. In previous part, we have already learned how to make login system in Node application by using JSON Web Token. Now we want to get data from JSON Web Token, so these things we will learn under this video tutorial. So now in Visual Studio Editor, we have goes to welcome.html file. And under this file, we want to make one button, so by click on that button, we can fetch data from JSON Web Token. So for this, here we have to write button tag with type attribute is equal to button. And in button text, we have to write get user ID, so here our button is ready. Now we have goes to JavaScript code part. And here, we have create getJWTData function. Under this function, we have to write JavaScript Fetch API with two parameters. In first parameter, we have to write endpoint URL like /getJWTData. In second parameter, we have to define different option which we want to send with request. So here, we want to send token data in HTTP header, so here we have to write headers options. And under this, we have to write authorization key, and in value, we have to write token variable. So when we have send request, then with request, in HTTP header, this token variable value will be sent. After this, we have to write then method, and under this method, we have to write callback function with response variable as parameter. Under this function, we have to write return statement response.json method, which will convert data into JSON format. After this, again we have to write then method, and under this method, we have to write callback function with data variable as argument. Under this function, we have to write alert method, and under this, we have to write message like login user ID is, and for display user ID, we have to write data.userid variable. So it will pop up dialog box, and under this, we have can see login user ID details. After this, we have to write catch method, and under this, we have to write callback function with error variable as argument, so this function will be execute if there is any error has been occur. And under this, we have to write alert method with error variable, so it will pop up error message on web page. So here, our function is ready. Now we want to call this function when we click on getJWTData button. So here in button code, we have to write on click attribute is equal to getJWTData function. So when user click on this button, then this function will called, and it will pop up user ID data on web page. So here, our front end code is ready. Now we have goes to app.js file. And under this file, we have to create one middleware to check JWT token. So here, we have to create verify token function with request, response and next variable as parameter. Under this function, we have to write token variable is equal to request.headers.authorization. So here, it will get token value from HTTP header and store under this token local variable. Now we have to write if statement, and under condition, we have to write not operator with token variable. If there is token value is not received, then it will execute if block of code. And here, we have to write return statement, and after this, we have to write response.status method with 401 code.json method, and under this method, we have to write error as key, and in value, we have to write access denied, no token provided message. So it will send this error message to client, which will be pop up in the browser. Next we want to decode token data, so for first we have to use try catch block for handle error. And in try block, we have to write decoded variable is equal to JWT variable.verify method with two parameter. In first parameter, we have to write token variable. And in second parameter, we have to write secret key variable, in which we have store secret key. So this code will convert hashed coded string to simple string, and store under this decoded variable. After this, we have to write request.user variable is equal to decoded variable, so here, we have store decoded token string, under request.user variable, which we can access globally, under node application. After this, we have to write next method, which will return true, and execute other code. But suppose there is wrong token value has been passed, then it will execute catch block of code. And here, we have to write response.status method with 401 error code. And after this, we have to write JSON method, and under this method, we have to write error key, and in value, we have to write error message like invalid token. So it will send error message to client in JSON format, which will be pop on in the browser. So here, our middleware is ready for checkJWT token. Now we want to make get API for send client request response. So here, we have to write app.get method with three parameter. In first parameter, we have to define endpoint URL, so here, we have to write /getJWTData. In second parameter, we have to write verify token middleware, so it will check JWT token data. And if token is successfully verified, then only it will execute this route code, otherwise client will receive error message like invalid token. And in third parameter, we have to write callback function with request and response variable. Under this function, we have to write response.status method with 200 success code. And after this, we have to write JSON method, and under this method, we have to write user ID key, and in value, we have to write request.user.user ID, so here, it will send user data to client in JSON format. So here, our code is ready. Now we want to check output in browser. So first, we have goes to terminal, and run node app.js command, which will start node development server. Now here, we have open login page in the browser, and here, we can see login form on web page. And then after, we have enter correct user login details, one by one. After this, we have click on login button, and after click on login button, here we can see that we have login into system, and here on web page, we can see logout and get user ID button on web page. Now for get user ID data from token, we have click on button. So after click on button, here we can see that login user ID has been pop up on web page. So here, user ID has been stored in token in hashed string format, which we have sent to server in HTTP headers. And at server side, hashed string token has been converted into simple string, and again sent back to client. So this way, we can fetch data from JSON web token under node application. By the end of this tutorial, Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest tutorials.